Hi, everyone, and good afternoon, and welcome to today's information session regarding the Luksic Scholarship at Ciencias Po. And my name is Gabrielle Trasati. I am the International Outreach Coordinator for the Luksic Foundation. Perhaps you had originally heard of us as the Luksic Scholars Foundation, but this year we have indeed incorporated and merged into the larger Luksic Foundation. So that has sort of been our big change for the year. But we're really excited to have you here today to learn about this wonderful international opportunity. So to give you a glance at what today's event will look like, I'll start by providing some information on the Luksic Foundation and an overall sort of view of the different types of international programs that we have. And then we are joined by two guests today. We have Larissa Frozel Barros. She's the International Affairs Manager for Latin America and the Caribbean at Ciencias Po. She's going to walk us through the programs there at the university, the ones that are eligible for the Luksic Scholarship, and she's going to provide some details and information as to the application process, all of the important dates and details that you need to know. And then that will be followed by a scholar experience. And we have with us Daniela Núñez, who's in her second year of her master's in public policy there at Ciencias Po. And so she's fully gone through a whole year of the program, entering her second year, and she's going to share what life has been like on campus and sort of giving her advice as to those who are looking to apply. And we'll end today's webinar with a Q&A. If we don't have time to get to your questions, we will leave you with an email at Ciencias Po so that you can reach out to in case we don't get to your question. And we will send a recording of the event via email. So you will receive all of this information and the presentations on hand. So I'll go ahead and kick us off with just some information about the Luksic Foundation. Our vision and our purpose is to contribute to Chile's development by empowering people, and we do this through different training and education programs. And so outside of international education, which is what we'll talk about today, we also have programs in education, more specifically vocational training and vocational education. We also have programs in entrepreneurship. So this is focused on providing resources, trainings to those who own their own businesses in Chile. In sports, we have field hockey and football schools and training. And then we also have additional support in the form of donations and emergency funding. And now more specifically within our area of international education, our vision is to connect Chile with the world and vice versa. And by doing so, by connecting sort of the global community in Chile together, we're able to better address the challenges, the global challenges that we face today with getting, the necessary tools and information that we need. That is why we promote access for Chileans and permanent residents to these cutting-edge educational programs. And this is always in collaboration with international institutions, much like Ciencias Po, who is here with us today. Our history in higher international education actually goes back to the early 2000s. And since then, we've been able to implement over 30 programs within 7 different countries in collaboration with over 18 institutions. And as a result, there have been over 2,000 Luksic scholars who have participated in these programs. And it was just back in 2019, we looked back and decided there are a lot of scholars here who've participated in these different initiatives. How can we join them together, continue offering them post-program opportunities? And that is when the Luksic Scholars Community was formed, our international alumni network, which Daniela is actually a part of and we'll speak on that in a bit as well. And so in terms of the different types of international programs that we offer, there are 3. Today, we are going to focus on the Master's Scholarship, specifically the Luksic Scholarship for Public Service at Ciencias Po. These are full scholarships at the postgraduate level. So anywhere where you're receiving a Luksic Scholarship, it's going to be a full scholarship so that you don't have to worry about the financial aspect of that program. You can focus on your studies, being on campus, getting, involved in the community, the extracurricular activities that they have there. The only partial scholarship here at the bottom is with the University of Chile and MIT. We also have research programs. So these are 2 international fellowships for academics, as well as a doctorate in political science. And then short courses in Chile, which is when we actually bring international experts to the country so that they can provide short trainings so participants can receive certifications in specific skill sets. And then all of those who participate in any of these 3 types of programs are invited to join the Luksic Scholars community. And so the big question, of course, we get asked is, how do I access the Luksic Scholarship? So the first is researching and understanding the admissions and selection criteria for the program of your interest. So for example, you're interested in the Luksic Scholarship at Ciencias Po, you need to go to the Ciencias Po website, understand what their criteria and protocols are for applying. You apply to the master's program and the scholarship via the university, and then the university will let you know whether you've been admitted to both the program and the scholarship. And then us as a foundation, we actually get contacted by the university as to when the Luksic Scholars are selected. We do not participate in those processes. Those are fully carried out by the universities. And so in general, overall, we have 20 Luksic scholarships available for Chileans and permanent residents each year in 7 universities across 5 different countries. And again, these are full scholarships. So we're talking about the tuition, the living stipend, which of course is dependent on which city or country you're going to live in, and the arrival costs. Here's a screenshot of sort of what all of these look like, where we're located in the world. From New York to London, there's a program actually here in Santiago with 2 weeks in MIT, in Edinburgh, in Oxford, in China. And then, of course, today we're headed to Paris, France, to learn about the Luksic scholarships available there. And this is actually the longest duration program that we have. So you're getting a full 2 years to be able to be on campus. And so here are some actually more specific details. The Luksic Scholarship at Ciencias Po will cover any master's program within 2 schools, and those are the School of Public Affairs and the Paris School of International Affairs. And as I mentioned, this is a full 2-year program. You're living there in Paris, France. You can take classes in English, you can take classes in French, really depending on which language you prefer. Includes the full tuition, living stipend, arrival cost. And what we know of Ciencias Po is they are the leading university in social sciences, and they have an extremely international campus. Also, we offer 3 scholarships each year, so you're not going alone. You will not arrive alone on campus. You will be with, fellow peers, fellow Chileans. And of course, as the foundation, we also want to support you in that. As for the application period, I know Larissa will definitely go into more detail about this, but you must apply to the master's program and then the Emily Butmi Scholarship, which includes ours, by December 1st. And so that's an important date to remember. And just to wrap up here, so I can leave time for Larissa and Daniela. In terms of the support that we offer, yes, we have the Luksic Scholarship that covers the financial aspect of the program, but we also want to provide sort of this integral support before, during, and after. This includes getting to know you. This includes getting on a welcome call or inviting you to the office before you actually go to France. Here in one of the photos, you actually see we gathered all of the Luksic scholars who we're going to go to a different country to complete their master's. We want you to get to know all of those who will be abroad and be on programs that you can get connected with them. We really want you to feel that you are not only supported financially, but also backed by an institution and that we care. And then sort of whilst you're on program, we're definitely in constant contact. You can reach out for anything that you might need, and of course, to the university as well. And then post-program, we, of course, stay in touch. We have a post-program fund, so you can apply for additional funding for certain initiatives or projects that you're undergoing, whether this be you want to attend a conference, organize a conference, you're writing a book, you want to take an executive course. Those are sort of what those opportunities look like, and you'll be joining a global community of over 2,000 scholars. So that is a bit about us. Definitely feel free to visit us at fundacionluksic.cl. You can write to us at internacional@fundacionluksic.cl and find us on Instagram and LinkedIn. We also have these information sessions. They will be housed in our YouTube channel. So that's where you can find this information session. It will be available by the end of this month there as well. So I will hand over the mic to Larissa, who will give us further details about our scholarships there at Ciencias Po. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Thank you for inviting me and renewing this presentation every year. I'm really excited of being here representing Ciencias Po. So my name is Larissa Fruza Barros. I'm the International Fair Manager for Latin America and the Caribbean at the International Affairs Divisions of Ciencias Po. So I'm in charge of our cooperation with the continent. Today I will present Ciencias Po briefly and talk about the scholarship. So as Gabrielle was mentioning, we are the France leading university in social science. We have bachelor's degree, master's degree, but of course, as the Luksic scholarship is dedicated for the master's level, we are going through just the masters that are eligible for the program. You can go to the next slide, please. So we were created in the context of the end of the Franco-Prussian War. So the founder of Ciencias Po, Mr. Emily Boutimi, saw how the French ended the war in a situation that it was not favorable. So they were defeated. And he started thinking how we'll rebuild the country. And one of the ways is to think about education, is to think about the intellectual elite of the country. And he founded Ciencias Po, so a school that was thought to think about the future, to think about the French politics by that time. Of course, that we have a long history in the institution evolved and changed. So we started as an institution that most of the students, almost everyone was a man, but today we have more than 50% of women that are our studying here at our campuses. But the most important and recent evolution that we have in our campus and within our students is that nowadays we have 50% of our students that are internationals. So we have 15,000 students divided in different campuses. So we are Ciencias Po Paris, but we have different campuses. What is important to you to say that the master's degree, they are only based in Paris. So you will not know the other campuses, but if someone say that Ciencias Po Paris is present in other cities, that's true, okay? But 50% of the students are international, representing more than 150 nationalities. And this is due to our partner universities. So we started more than 25 years ago to develop a huge networking of partner universities in every continent, including including Chile. And today, we are ranked because of it as well, because of the academic quality that we offer to our students, but also because we were able to open our campuses to the international students. We are ranked as the second university in politics in the QS ranking. We have more than 30 master's program. With some of them, it's a single master program, some PhD, and a lot of dual degrees. You can go to the next one. If we talk just about the master's students, we're talking about over 7,000 students. 58% of them are French students, but we have 42 that are international, because we count as well the binationals, so those French students who have a second nationality, they are the binational. We count them as part of our international because they have different backgrounds that contributes to the international environment in our campuses. You can go to the next one. So just remembering, we have several campuses, but the master's students, they are all concentrated in the Paris campus, okay? So these master's students, they are divided in 7 graduate schools. They are listed here in this slide. But for the Luksic Scholarship, only 2 schools are eligible. So I would just list, we have the Public Affairs schools, the Paris School of International Affairs, School of Management and Impact, Law School, Urban School, School for Research, and School of Journalism. Most of the schools, 6 out of the 7 schools, are schools that offer a path that goes to a quite professional outcome, meaning you spend 3 semesters of your master's degree inside the campus, learning, having courses, but you spend one of this out of 4 semesters, so one of your semesters will be outside the campus. You have 3 choices when you are in the semester outside of the campus. Either you do an internship, you can choose your internship. Of course, you have to discuss it with your academic advisor. Each master's degree has an academic advisor, but most of our students want to have this experience. Another choice is doing a master's thesis if you go to academic path, or you can choose to go for an exchange program with one of our partner universities, so the more than 400 partner universities that we have. So the only exception that we have is the School of Research that is not eligible for the scholarship, but I want to mention because this is a school that, yes, they have the semester like outside of the the campus, but it's more a school of research, so academic path. So once again, please pay attention that if you want to be eligible for the Luksic Scholarship for public service at Sciences Po, you have to choose one master's degree in the School of Public Affairs or the Paris School for International Affairs. So I'm going to explain each one of these schools. For the School of Public Affairs, so the main ambition is to forge the new next generation of leaders and to give in the classrooms, but also bringing a lot of influent politicians and influent people in the market to discuss with the students and to discuss the problems and the solutions for the public administration, but to build the public administration, we are not just talking about the public sphere. We are talking about also how the public sphere's dialogue is in liaison with the private sector, its functions locally, and also what is the context of public affairs in the international world. You can go, please, Gabriel. Thank you. So in this school, we have 2 options of master's degree. We have 2 programs. We have the master's degree in public policy that you can choose either to study in French or in English. And we have the master's degree in European affairs. It's the same thing. You can study in French or in English. So it's both of these programs are 2-year programs. What is the policy streams? Once you are in the master's degree, you have to choose one policy stream. So you have all this list of policy streams that you can see here, and this year we have a new one, that is education research, the last one that I listed. And so along with the common courses that you are taking for your master's degree, you have a specialization that it's called the policy stream, and you have to pick from this list. Just pay attention because some policy streams are only offered in French, other only offered in English. Another, you have to be fluent in both languages. What's important to say is that the scholarship, like the dual degrees, each one of the schools have dual degrees, and the dual degrees are not eligible for the scholarship. Why did I list the dual degrees? Because this it means that you'll be in contact with the students from these dual degrees. So once you are doing your master's degree here, you'll be with colleagues from the dual degree with Columbia, with the LSE, with Food and University, which means that you are maximizing your networking. So your colleagues, they will spend another year in another university, but you keep your contact, and this maximize how you have contact with people studying and have experience all over the world. This School of Public Affairs have 90% of internationals, so it's not the most international school that we have. 71% are French, but with the binational, we would say that we have 29% of international students. Then, just to give you an idea, our students who have a diploma from the public affairs schools, they go to study in different sectors. Of course, most of them go to the public administration, the public sector, but not only. As I was saying in the beginning, it's a school for public affairs, but also dialoguing with the private sector and education, the industry, NGOs, international organizations, communications. So you can have different opportunities. It depends on your choice of policy stream and the opportunities that you seize while you are studying here at Sciences Po. Now for the Paris School of International Affairs. This is a school 100% in English. It's our only school that all the programs are in English. So it's also a school trained to build the future leaders. But of course, it's where we concentrate a variety of backgrounds, and you want to make impact in more international sphere. We can go to the next one. So how does it work in the Paris School of International Affairs that we call PCA? It's a little bit different, but not that much. So we have a list, like in the Paris School of International Affairs, we have more than two master's degrees. We have international security, international economic policy, international development, international energy transitions, environment policy, human rights and humanitarian action, and international governance and diplomacy. We also have dual degrees that are listed here, the technology and global affairs and the journalism and international affairs, that you will find listed in the web page. But again, the dual degrees, they are not eligible for the scholarship. In the Paris School of International Affairs, instead of choosing one specialization, you will choose two. So in this school, instead of talking about policy streams, we are talking about concentrations. We have a regional and we have thematic concentrations. We advise students to choose one thematic, one regional concentrations. But of course, there are some students that decide to take two regionals or other two thematics. It's up to you. You can choose any concentrations that you want, but it's the same thing. During your master's degree, for example, I'm doing the international development master's degree. Alongside with my core curriculum courses, I will take courses for my concentrations. And this will allow you to specialize a little bit more. And again, it's the same format, 3 semesters at Sciences Po, 1 semester that you can spend abroad, be it in an internship, master thesis, or an exchange program. And as you can see, because this is a school 100% in English, we have more internationals. So if we count the international and the binational, we have 72% of international students and only 28 of French students. And again, the question, the 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 positive side of having dual degree students as classmates and constructing this networking. We can, yeah. So for the Paris School of International Affairs, we have a lot of students that are going to international organizations and NGOs. But again, the public sector is also here, the industry, the media and communication, the retail distribution, and etc. So you really have to think about where you want to go, but you have chances of going to the public and to the international and private sector, independently of the school that you choose. We can go. This is more the or less the distribution of our alumni network today. So 61% they still in the European Union outside of France, but they still have students going back either to their home country or to a third country to work and to build their networking. So how is the admission process to the master's program? The period is from October to December 1st. If you want to apply for the Luksic Foundation scholarship for public service at Sciences Po, when you go to the online application, I left the link here, and this presentation will be shared with you in the Luksic Foundation webpage. When you click there, or you just go to Google and type Sciences Po admissions, you have to fill out your application. There is a part where they will ask you if you want to apply for a scholarship. You have to put yes, and you have to choose to apply for the Emily Bootsme scholarship. So this is the name of the founder of the Sciences Po. And why do you have to choose that? Because it's inside this system of the Emily Bootsme scholarships that we have the Luksic Scholarship for public service at Sciences Po. Is there that we know that the Chileans, they are applying for the scholarship. So please choose this one, and please respect the deadline. It's really important. After the deadline, you can still apply for Sciences Po, but you are not eligible anymore for the scholarship, okay? We are just reviewing your application. There is no written and test and interview. When we access your application, looking at your academic performance and your motivation, why do you want to go to come to Sciences Po? Why are you asking for this scholarship? This is quite important as well. You have to highlight your personal objectives. You can talk about your extracurricular activities. This is quite important for us. We know that people come from different backgrounds. This is not this will not exclude your application. This is something else. So we know that depending on your background, you had the opportunity to do more or less extra activities, but every extracurricular activity is important so we can understand your profile. And yeah. About the criteria to the scholarship. So as Gabriel mentioned before, this is just for Chilean nationals who are ordinarily resident in Chile without the dual citizenship from any European Union country. I wrote that for avoidance of doubt, Chilean nationals currently living outside Chile solely for the purpose of study shall be deemed to be ordinarily resident in Chile. Okay, so if you, I think this is clear, but if you have any doubt, please write to me and we can talk about your case. So how do we select these scholars for the Luksic Scholarship for Public Service at Sciences Po? The criteria, it's the excellence, so it's a meritocratic criteria, but also based on your motivation. So your relevant academic and professional experience, your financial need, and your social diversity. So we encourage people coming from outside Santiago to also apply. We encourage people coming from different universities in any part of the country to apply, and also different social backgrounds. Here, just to remember something that Gabrielle mentioned as well. So Sciences Po has a tuition fees that it's adjusted every January. Today for the academic year 24-25. So just to remember, at France, we start the academic year in late August and we go until July. So it's a little bit different from the Chilean calendar. But for this year, the tuition fees is 20,380 euros. This will be adjusted every January, but you don't have to worry because if you are taking if you are a scholar from the Luksic Scholarship for Public Service at Sciences Po, the foundation will cover you the full tuition fees, and also, as Gabriel said, they will also give you money for the arrival costs and for your daily life here at France, because they want you to focus on your studies and the development of your professional life. So to finish, I just want to mention, of course, that Sciences Po is not just about what happens inside the classroom. We have different campus, different buildings in the campus. So we are an urban campus. Don't expect that like an American campus where we far away from downtown, that you have a huge green space. We are inside Paris, in the heart of Paris. We have different buildings that are 5 minutes walking away, one from each other. And we have different service and teams divided in this building. So we establish student housing. It's the responsibility of each student to find their own housing, but we have a team that can give you tips and help you. It's quite challenging to find housing in Paris, but with a lot of patience, you can find it. We have financial aid and student support team as well to help you if you have an emergency. But of course, you have the scholarship in this case. We will help you. One of our teams will also help you with the residence permit. But again, we can just help you. You have to be the one that goes to the migration office in France and take care of everything. And we are a university open to disability accessibility questions and issues. So if you are one student that need any help with it, you can contact our team. I invite you, if you want to know more in details about each one of the master's degree, to sign up for our virtual graduate open house day that will be in a few months. So you can use the link, you can just sign up, typing in Google Sciences Po virtual graduate open house day and subscribe. It's an opportunity where you can just connect from anywhere in the world. We spend the whole day connected, and you can talk to academic advisors. You can talk to us, the international team, to admissions team, and also do not hesitate to contact me in the address that is indicated here, latinamerica.caribbean@sciencespo.fr, and to check our YouTube, where you can see some images about our campus, our students, and if you want, you can download our brochure to learn more about Sciences Po. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Larissa. And I've actually gone on YouTube and also watched these videos, and they're really great. So you can really get that feel on campus. And again, we will share this presentation with everyone who's joining us today. So now we'll head into the Scholar Experience section, chat with Daniela for a few minutes before we head into the questions. So Daniela, welcome and thank you for your time. I know that classes just started. Even with Larissa very busy on campus, all the students are back. So we're really happy to have you with us here today, and congrats on starting your second year. It would be great if you could just start out with a short introduction, your academic background, and what you're currently studying.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here and share my experience with you all. So I'm a physiotherapist, actually, and I have a master's degree in health administration as well. So back in Chile, I used to work in clinical environments with patients, mostly elderly. And additionally, I had a position in a private university overseeing the coordination of the internship program within the physiotherapy school. So that's my background. And right now I'm doing a master in public policy in the global health stream in the School of Public Affairs.
Perfect. And that's very interesting because typically it's not that, typical career path that one might take. Why did you decide then to take that career path, and why Ciencias Po? Why specifically the university?
Well, in the middle of the pandemics, I decided that I wanted to move forward in my professional career. This time in the field of public policy, I did a very short course on that, and I like it. I actually love it, and that's where I decided, okay, I want to study more, and I want to go outside to study this master in public policy. And that's where Ciencias Po actually came to my notebook. I was just searching programs. I also studied French at the French Institute back in Santiago, where Campus Fund is. And they did a presentation. Ciencias Po came to do a presentation. And that's also when I got to know more the university.
Perfect.
Then I actually was struggling between certain universities, and I chose Ciencias Po mostly for three reasons. The first one would be the prestigious reputation regarding the field of social sciences, as also Larissa said. Second, the multidisciplinary approach that they have and the global perspective that we actually see in our classes every day. And now I can see that. And finally, because you have the possibility to adapt your curriculum according to your personal interests. So also in the core courses, but also in the electives. So you can actually build your own path within the master. And that happens to both schools, my school, Public Affairs, and also Paris, the CIA, as Larissa was saying.
Perfect. So it sounds like there's a lot of flexibility, and that you get to sort of personalize how your education is shaping and looks. And as the foundation, we also are, yes, very much about sort of that multidisciplinary approach, all of the programs that we offer. We want them to have that incorporated, as it does help us respond more to these global challenges that we're facing. And so you arrived last year on campus, and Daniela, can you tell us a bit about the arrival process? I know finding housing is always a bit crazy there in Paris. Can you explain that, what the support was like for you?
Sure. Well, I would say that before the arrival is a pre-arrival process, and that means planning about your visa, about all the documents that you have to translate, and you had to go through the education and for a foreign ministry back in Chile, you have to pay for those things. So yeah, that means careful planning of all the documents that you need also to apply, but also to come here to France. And also, of course, accommodation was a big issue. I applied to Cité International, which is a big campus just with residence for students, mostly master students, to stay while they're studying. And I got accepted just when I got to Paris. So I was a bit stressed before. But I would say, yeah, I started looking for accommodation the minute I got the news about getting into Ciencias Po and then getting the scholarship. And then about the arrival process, I would say that between Campus France and Ciencias Po, you can get all the orientation you need in terms of validating your visa, opening a French bank account that you need to receive the scholarship, applying for the French health insurance as well, or basic stuff as opening a French mobile account. So yes, you get the help. The help is there for you to ask questions and try to make everything within the dates that you are awarded, actually.
Perfect. No, and of course, if I'm not mistaken, we had connected you with the Luksic scholars who were already there on campus the year before.
Yeah,
And
that was so useful.
so how do you find housing? Where did you guys look? So we also sort of want to offer that support as well. So we want it to be as less stressful as possible. Daniela, can you describe a typical day in the life as a master's student there at Sciences Po, what it's like living in Paris and the extracurricular activities you're involved in?
Well, about a typical day as a student, I would say first year and the third semester for me, or fourth semester for the SIA students, would be actually having classes maybe 4 days a week and about 2 to 3 classes per day. Classes are 2 hours long, and you have 15 minutes break between each of them. So you have to be very involved in your studies. Most classes count on you to prepare beforehand, read a lot of papers. So it's intense, but you can do it, and you can also enjoy the city, enjoy social activities that the university have, but also the city has. We are just 2 blocks from the Seine, so yes, we usually go there and have lunch if the schedule allows it. I love swimming, so I managed to swim almost every day last year. This year, I'm actually also doing that. So I would say that you can combine your academic responsibilities with the social, and in my case, my sport life. Very good. Yeah.
Perfect. No, and since it's a 2-year program, you sort of get that first year to really just get acquainted, adjusted to the city, the language, the cultural exchange, and then you have that whole second year to just enjoy also being there. I'm guessing. And sort of, I know we have a few minutes left. Looking at the advice that you would give for those applying, so all of those attending and in the audience interested in the Luksic Scholarship at Sciences Po, what advice would you give to them sort of the application process?
I would say that start the application process as soon as you can. Go to the website, create your account, see what you have to fulfill, the documents that are requested. And as I said before, in terms of the documents, be sure to have all of them and go to the Ministries, Education and Foreign Affairs. So that's not as stressful as it could get. But also to correctly choose the persons that you will ask to write the letters of recommendation. That's also an issue that doesn't directly depend on you. So not only choosing them, but also be sure that they can commit to the requirements within the due date. Otherwise, your application won't be considered.
And so I guess do it with time. We always hear the best advice is it can take months, it can take up to a year, to not rush the process as well, making sure, right, you're picking the right people for the letter of recommendation. There's sort of a science behind it, making sure you craft a narrative behind your application, how Sciences Po, the institution, can help you, why Sciences Po, and why can that specific institution, get you to where you want to go. That's also, some advice.
Yeah, it's a reflection, like it's an exercise of reflecting with yourself why you're applying actually and where.
Exactly. And Daniela, lastly, can you touch upon a bit of the Luksic Scholars community, the alumni network that we have, and also just the support from the foundation and what that has meant for you and looks like for you?
Well, for me, I have this feeling of the foundation being present always from the moment that I got the news that I was one of the beneficiaries. So as you said, as you mentioned, you helped me building this network before coming to Paris to connect with students from the previous generation, but also with my fellow classmates that are now in M2 and Master 2 year. So that for me was great. In terms of great. And also you have looked after us while being in France. We had a meeting, an informal meeting last year as well. I couldn't attend the one you had this year as well. So I get this feeling of belonging somewhere, not only the university, but also belonging to another institution that looks for us as well.
That makes us very happy to hear, Daniela.
I'm very grateful.
Thank you. No, thank you. And we certainly want all Luksic scholars to feel that way and also feel that we're present also in this application process, getting you the information that you need, chatting with scholars like Daniela to understand what the process or what life is like there as a student, chatting with Larissa, getting sort of those ins and outs of the application process. So no, we're very lucky to have you, Daniela, as part of the community. So thank you. Is there any sort of last type of information you would like to add to this before we open the Q&A?
Just maybe one last advice would be to those who don't speak French, just take a very short class like introductory French, because although if you take your classes in English, then every institution in France regarding administrative issues will speak in French. So it's just to facilitate your life outside the campus. Perfect.
Okay, you heard it first. So get those French courses going. There's Duolingo, lots of apps, lots of, I would assume, free resources online.